Hey guys, Rachel CPR here. Today I just wanted to share with you this super quick DIY that I made. I have a satin pillow that I normally sleep on because I don't always sleep with satin bonnet. If I don't want my curls to stretch out too much, I can't wrap it up or else it'll be completely almost straight without curls in the morning. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll just go to sleep on my satin pillowcase, and that works out just fine for me as long as my hair is protected. But because satin pillowcases are so smooth, I find that a lot of the times I end up losing my pillow during the night. It'll fall off the side of the bed. And so I'm not really getting the benefit of it because it's on the floor. So what I did was I made a satin pillowcase for myself and for my daughter. The one I did for my daughter was the first one that I did, and I did her front of her pillowcase where she would sleep a pink satin. In the back I did a pink fleece, and I just said, oh, this is perfect because now she doesn't lose her pillowcase. So I decided to make one for myself. You can quite literally use anything that you want to make this pillow, because this is the pillow that I made for myself. The front of it is satin and it has a pattern, but it is not a raised pattern that will attract my hair, and the back of it is fleece. I made this flap to go over the top of it so that my pillow would be enclosed, but you can just make it like this so that it's just a stuffable pillowcase. You do not have to do this flap. This is an option. I personally like the flap. But this is my pillow, and it's perfect because it's a nice small size so that I can roll it up under my neck if I don't want to flatten my hair. So you can use absolutely any fabric that you want to make this. This can be a scrap fabric kind of a project. If you have an old satin shirt or skirt or dress that you want to get rid of, you can use that to make the front of your fabric. I mean the front of your pillow, and then the back can be an old t-shirt. It can be absolutely anything that is not going to slip off of your bed. You just want to make sure that the fabrics are actually something that would wash well together, because you don't want to use like a denim and something super fine on the other side, because then when you wash it, which you usually have to wash them a lot, it will end up tearing apart from each other. The other thing that you want to make sure of is that you do not use a silk satin. Silk is a natural fiber, and so it will absorb moisture from your hair and your skin. So you do not want to use anything that is of a natural fiber. You want to use basically something that's a polyester fabric. So this is a polyester fabric. It'll slip and slide, but it will not, and it will keep my hair protected, but it will not absorb my moisture at all. And you can test out as to whether or not the fabric is good for your pillow by simply taking a little bit of warm water on the palm of your hands and placing it onto the fabric. If it absorbs into the fabric, then you know that's what it's going to do with the moisture in your hair. Whereas if it just sits on top, that's what you want. You want something that will not absorb. Okay, the fabric can get wet, but as far as just soaking it in as soon as you put it on there, you don't want that to happen. You do not have to have a sewing machine to make this project. It will just take a little bit more time to sew it by hand, but it is definitely something that you can sit down with a good movie on and just sew away and make this project on your by hand without a sewing machine. I am going to use a machine for this, but it's not necessary. Okay, so if you want to see how I did it, please stay tuned and I'll show you. For this project, you will be needing some type of a ruler or straight edge, or you can eyeball it. You don't have to have this. I am going to use a rotary cutter, and I'm going to use, what do you call these things? Washers instead of pins. You can use pins, or you can just replace the rotary cutter with scissors. You're also going to need a satiny type of a fabric. So I have these two, but I think I will use this one. And I'm going to use this fleece as my backing. I'm going to use a contrasting color so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And a fleece is the best thing because you get to, it's very forgiving when you're sewing. I am not the best at sewing, so I like to use fleece for things like this because it's very forgiving. And you don't have to finish all of the edges in order for your project to be fortified. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to cut my fabric out, and I will make it the very same length in the beginning, but in the end I am going to cut some of my fabric off on this end on this end over here because I want this to be able to flip over to the side. So I will sew it. When I sew it, it's going to be this way so that I can flip my flap over, and you'll see what I mean when I get into this. So again, I'll start off by cutting it the same size. Okay, so you put the right sides together, smooth it out. I'm just going to put some washers up here. And then on the edge, right here, where I have the excess of the satiny fabric, I am going to simply fold it in. And you can definitely iron this to make it a more accurate fit. But I'm just going to fold it in and eyeball it. So this is the way I will sew it. I'm actually going to use my serger to do this. So what I will do first is I will put a serged hem over here, and I will serge this end as well. And then with that measurement, I will fold this in like this so that when I turn this on the other side, I will have a pocket that will fold over the back of this. And that will make it so that the entire front of the pillow is covered and there's no open end. So I will go and sew this together, and I will come back and let you see. Okay, so here is the sewn project. Actually the serged project, and you'll see my serged edge. I have it on both sides, and this is the side where I have my pocket where I flipped it down. So that's where that is. So now I'm going to turn it on the right side. And when you do that, you see, just kick out all the edges. You have your pillow with the bottom that will be against your, this part will be against your bed so it won't move around so much. And then this is the flap that will flap over just like this to encase the pillow. See how that looks? And so on the bottom, this is how it would be for the back. This thing is attracting so much yuckies. This is the way the back will look, where it is on the pillow, and this is the way the front will look, that is protecting your hair. And that's it.